X-ray of a liberal's brain, no doubt about it. So I think this is all going to work together pretty seamlessly here with the couple clips I've got here of all of these Democrats with Donald Trump living rent-free in their head. First on the list is CNN's Tiffany Cross. She calls Stephen Miller a white supremacist, one of Trump's right-hand man.
Really quickly, Abby, because anytime that we play something from Stephen Miller, it would be journalistic integrity to point out that he is a white supremacist and he is the brainchild behind this policy.
By the way, so for those of you who don't know, Stephen Miller, he's Jewish. So I hope he sues her into oblivion for that nonsense. That's a bunch of bull crap. We also got Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who had to be transported in here on a forklift. He's talking about how he does not want to have Donald Trump come to Chicago or Illinois to try to help clean up his city. And he claims that he lives rent-free in Donald Trump's head. Let's see who actually lives rent-free in whose head here.
We're very pleased about the progress that we're making. I know that I live rent-free in the president's head. And I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have. Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard...
Kudos to this cameraman, who is the true MVP here right now, who literally, if he wanted to come out and say that he lives rent-free in Trump's head, it awfully very much appears like Trump lives rent-free in his head. He didn't have to come to Trump Tower to make that statement. So who lives in whose head? Really, JB? Come on. Let's be honest here. But yeah, hopefully Donald Trump will be sending a National Guard to Chicago next to get them cleaned up, much like he did Washington, D.C., because Chicago needs it, no doubt. Here we got January 6th committee member Jamie Raskin, who's really talked about, trying to stop Donald Trump from assuming office, but did not happen, and Trump became president again. He says that crime is a part of our history, so we should just allow it to continue.
And the military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement purposes. In D.C., he was talking about cleaning up the graffiti and, dealing with the blight of homelessness, which are obviously local, not federal issues. And he's trying to militarize our society, intimidate his political opponents. The whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history.
So that just makes it okay. It's always been a part of our history. Let's just let it happen. And by the way, the only reason that Trump and the federal agents have to get involved in the federal, National Guard and stuff, is because the state officials won't do a thing about it. In DC's case, it's not even a state. So if Chicago was to do something about it, LA was to do something about it, New York was to do something about it, Trump wouldn't have to do that. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, it's just another, just lying to fearmonger, as Brandon said, the current thing. Speaking of Bill Maher, I talked about earlier, he is under the assumption that Donald Trump is trying to effect a slow-moving coup, paving the way for martial law, and he'll never leave office because, he's a dictator.
Let me just describe some of the steps, and you tell me if I'm being paranoid. First, create
a
masked police force. Get people used to looking at that.
Mass police force is because they've been doxxed by people who are against ICE. It's not some Nazi regime type thing.
Normalize snatching people off the street. Get them used to that.
If you're illegal and you don't belong in this country and you've broken the law, yeah.
Normalize seeing the National Guard and the military on the street.
Again, if you don't take care of it in your state, the federal government needs to step in to restore order.
Then start talking about crime in the capital, which is basically, has always been a fairly crime-ridden city.
Again, because there's crime, we shouldn't fix it. Again, so we should just live like this. That's what you're telling me, Bill.
This is our nation's capital where elections are decided. And then because the crime is so bad, have other states start sending their troops. Not just the National Guard there in D.C., but now at least 6 other states are sending their troops, which then Trump can then federalize.
Where are they sending them? Baltimore, Chicago, cities who refuse to fix their own problem. But again, he's a Hitler. He's trying to take over martial law.
So you're having many states' troops on the ground there, and now they're under federal control. So you have in the capital a sort of permanent police presence. So when
Permanent, by the way, it was a 30-day thing. Number one, it wasn't permanent.
an election dispute might come up, just hypothetically. I mean, I don't want to be a big pessimist, and I'm going to pretend for the rest of the duration that the Democrats do have a chance of winning, and they might win the next election.
Not at their current trajectory.
I just don't think they're ever going to take power, because this is what's going to happen. Because I think this coup is going to go off a lot smoother than the last one.
He is an idiot. I can't. You got any thoughts on this lunacy? I mean, this is what Democrats hear. And you wonder why a trans shooter just shut up a Catholic school. Because of stuff like this. And then Democrats want to preach to us, well, we need to tone down the rhetoric. Bill Maher is one of those people who are perpetuating this nonsense. He should be pulled off Max at this point.
So, you know how they say how conspiracy theories sound?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but then you hear shit like this, and it's like, is that how I sounded to you? Because I feel like I made more sense than he just did.
Mm-hmm.
He took a bunch.
At least our stuff that we're supposedly conspiracy theorists on, we backed it up. He's claiming to back it up, but he's got no evidence of what he's saying is true. I just told you everything he just said was bullshit.
No, but here's the thing. He knows, okay.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect example.
Well, I don't know. He's too busy getting drunk and smoking pot. He probably doesn't. But
you remember the president question, right? The one we asked somebody about, right?
The what? You cut out, sorry.
Who was the first president? You remember that time we asked that person at work who was the first president, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his belief into his answer, you know what I mean? Like, he was dead set that was his answer.
He said Abraham Lincoln, by the way, for those listening.
Even though he had knowledge of it not being that way. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's saying is bullshit. But you have to think about, because he knows that the people who, I don't know, I didn't see who was on his show with him.
I couldn't tell you the guy's name, but yeah.
He's doing it for the crowd. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's doing it for his audience. So when he knows what he's saying is bullshit. He fully knows that. Even as I can look at his fucking face, as smug as it is, he knows he's bullshit. He's
got a very punchable face. Trust me. Yeah.
Again, it's one of those, he's so deep into the shit that even though he knows it's not true, there's some semblance of a belief because that's all he fucking knows. You get what I'm saying?
It's appeasing to his audience. Like, he's trying to not lose his audience. He knows his audience eat this up with a spoon. Like, he went and met Donald Trump in the White House. He said on that night he was not the crazy guy that we think he is, but that doesn't mean he won't be, because he didn't want to lose the audience. It was like he wasn't being honest with what he saw. You know, it's like, but now that he's back with his audience and he's not visiting Trump or anything, now we'll just go back to full-blown crazy. You know,
but you gotta wonder why. If he knows what's coming out of his mouth is bullshit, why is he so afraid to tell the truth to his audience? Who is his handler? Like, he's working for somebody spouting lies for them.
Yeah, because at some point it can't be about the money. It truly can't.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's he obviously has been very vocal about how he wants Gavin Newsom to run and things like that. He was supportive
that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
Any common sense whatsoever, you would see the trans shooter situation. You would see all these situations that are brought on by Democrats if you had common sense. So then why is somebody like Bill Maher, who was able to see Trump's good side, knows he's telling lies? What is he trying to hide that he's done himself?
Well, you got to remember,
blackmail on him?
you got to remember that Bill Maher, even though he says it's not a personal thing, Donald Trump did sue him once. So part of me wonders if it's personal more than he lets on. Like he's just
So
mad.
So you're lying out of pettiness at this point?
I'd have to look into exactly how the case went. But yeah, I think he made like a joke of some sort. Trump didn't like it. He sued him or something.
But that doesn't matter.
I'd have to look into
you're
it. Yeah.
Lying out of pettiness.
Potentially.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
So you're gonna
Like,
get your audience members possibly killed or put in fucking prison because they're
They're gonna
thinking
believe this
they're
bull.
being taken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I take this stuff and be honest, if they see it, fine. If they don't, I don't care. I have people in my family who watch Bill Maher and know and believe this. And it makes it personal for me to some degree because I know what Bill Maher is saying is absolute horse shit. We've shown it for the last year and a half on this channel how it's horse shit. But they eat it. I mean, I don't even blame them. This is what they've been told. And don't be wrong, Bill Maher has some common sense takes against woke nonsense and things like that. But then he devolves to this, and this is why I cannot, in good conscience, take him seriously. Not only that, he's a big supporter of Gavin Newsom running for president because he says he's a winner, and I vote for winners. But then Bill Maher will sit there and say, California's got so many damn regulations. I can't get the solar panels put on my house for years. They've been giving me all this guff and stuff about that. But yet he's willing to go put the guy who did that to him in office. That's mental illness.
It's like being in an abusive relationship.
Isn't
Yeah.
that like Stockholm syndrome or something?
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Basically, yeah.
It's kind of like, again, I hate doing this, but the parallels from anybody's job, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like you're in an abusive relationship. For whatever reason, you can't leave it. Like,
See,
this
I'm
is
gonna
what it's
hold on,
like.
babe. I'm gonna stop you real quick. That's how you know our marriage is not abusive. I'd have left a long fucking time ago, just like I left that fucking abusive relationship I was in called work a long fucking time ago. I don't put up with it. If you're gonna lie to me, you ain't gonna be in my fucking life.
Yeah. And coming back to Bill
I'm
Maher
not-
just a little bit, but it's like Bill Maher's another thing that always has irked me about this guy. It's like he rails and rails and rails about, well, Trump in January 6th, he still has not conceded the election in 2020 and all this stuff. He lost. It is a fundamental thing in our Constitution that you have to concede elections and transfer of power and all this nonsense. But then Bill Maher had no problem whatsoever with completely bypassing the primary process when it comes to installing Kamala Harris as a presidential nominee in 2024, despite the American people voting for Joe Biden. If you were really into and really felt like some conviction about the constitutional process or the election process or conceding elections and making sure elections are on the up and up, you would have demanded that your party, regardless of how much time was left after Joe Biden dropped out, that your party would have made sure to have a primary process to do it the right way. But you had no problem with that. You're a fucking hypocrite, Bill Maher.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you have to, at some point, like I said, it's not about money. There has to be another reason.
Something. I don't know.
You can't be this whole convinced about this party that you have no problem pointing out all the negatives for. So once again, it's not about the money. Then what is it for? And if you're saying it's because it's a personal reason between him and Trump,
Maybe
doing all of this bullshit out of pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
So you're lying to your audience out of pettiness.
Mm-hmm. And if he honestly believes everything he's saying out of his mouth, he's a dumber idiot than I thought he was. Because this guy literally just reads the headlines or whatever his producers write for him to say and ask questions in the script, and then he just spouts nonsense. And this man did not even know that Hillary Clinton denied that Donald Trump was a legitimate president for 4 years. He said, well, she conceded the election the night of, and then Megyn Kelly had to correct him and say no. The next 4 years after that, she went on to say he was an illegitimate president in every interview she ever did. but he had no problem with that. He won't call out his own because he didn't know. It's like, do you even research this stuff, or do you just go on TV and spout nonsense? I'm starting to believe that's the case.
I hate his face. Like this right here, this shot,
I'm gonna
the
move
more I
on.
look at it, the madder it fucking makes me, because it's the smirk. You know what I mean? It's that
Yeah.
fucking smirk. And it's like one of those, like, you know, okay, we make fun of Matt when he does it because it's funny. You know how he rubs his hands together every.
Yeah.
That's what this is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you fucking weasel. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what it feels like. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm it's just, like I said, it's a little more personal for me because I know people who have been, and again, I don't fully blame them. It's just they've been bamboozled by the stuff that they see on the news, and because I fully don't know if they understand exactly how bad the news is and their deception and the lies that they tell. I think they try to have faith that they're telling the best that they know, but they don't quite understand how deep this goes, and that's why I don't fully blame them. Even though I've tried to talk to them about it, it don't always go that way. But that's notwithstanding. But yeah, I take this, especially Bill Maher.
Side note here, I have to let the dog out. He's driving me crazy.
Okay, all right, it's fine. We'll move on a little bit here. But yeah, so the last thing when it comes to Democrats or Trump living in Democrats' heads went rent free. Gavin Newsom still can't get over the fact that apparently he's been sent Trump 2028 hats. So here you go.
Republicans are going to stop it. I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second you want? I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
No, don't give me. You don't. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house?
Maybe he wants to, I don't know, make the White House better for the country and make it better for the next occupant. Maybe he's not the selfish guy you paint him out to be. And maybe Bill Maher's been listening too much to Gavin Newsom because he's spouting that same rhetoric. Donald Trump has the Democrats literally defending men and women's sports, crime and criminals, and when Letitia James or Lisa Cook do it, or anyone with a D next to their name, mortgage fraud. So hook, line, and sinker, Donald Trump's got him right where he wants them. I mean, you're playing right into his hands. Thank you for checking out this clip from the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our full podcast every single Friday night here on the channel, live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Rumble. And until our next video, guys, take care, and God bless.